Hi, everybody! How are we all doing? Yay! My name is Alejandro Jimenez de Ferry. My pronouns are he, him, and I am the co-lead of the Youth Associate Chair from the It Gets Better Youth Voice Alumni Program. I'm super excited to moderate this panel, and I'm even more excited to introduce you all to our lovely, lovely speakers. I would love it if, let's see. Omid, would you want to go first?
Yes, thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Omin Razavi. Pronouns are he, him, and I'm the executive director at It Gets Better Canada. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, it's so happy to have you. I love Canada. I think it's so cool.
Thank you.
Bruno? Yes, hey, don't worry about it. Bruno, let's hear it.
Everyone, I'm Bruno. My pronouns are he, him, or they, them. I live in Brazil. I'm originally from Rio de Janeiro, but I currently live in São Paulo. And if you can see me, I'm a young Latin person with brown eyes and dark hair. I'm wearing a white hoodie with head, uh, white headphones as well. And this is my voice. So, hey, so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, yay! Love the drip. Big fan of the white on white. I think it's gorgeous. It's Gorgina. Let's see. Mieria, you want to say hello? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Mireia. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm the responsible of communication in It Gets Better España, and I'm super happy to be here for the first time in my life.
Oh my gosh, first time ever? Well, welcome to the Twitch channel. This is so exciting. And finally, last but not least, our friend. Hi.
Yeah, I'm Alex. I'm the chief executive at Just Better UK, so across the water. So my pronouns are he, him, and Bruno, you probably led the way in terms of describing yourself, so well done. So yeah, I'm blonde, wearing glasses, grey jumper, and this is my voice.
Very exciting. I actually am also gonna visually describe myself. I didn't think to do that, so thank you. This is Alejandro. I have short, dark brown hair. I have big green glasses that match my green shirt, and I have two little braids that I have from my like sideburns. I think they're really cool. Omi, do you maybe want to give a little bit of a verbal description?
Sure. Well, as of last week, I've got short buzzed hair, an aging gray beard. I'm wearing a pink shirt, and yeah, this is my voice. Thank you.
Nice. Mireia?
So I'm wearing a Wednesday black Greer's t-shirt, sorry, with my favorite chain in the neck, and holding my stone, which I don't like. I can remember the name in English. My partner will hate me for this. If you are hearing me, I'm sorry. It's blue and it's my confident communication stone. And my hair is long and it's wet, and I'm using to like a sound really big and black headphones decorated with some beautiful stones.
Oh my gosh, love it. Wow, I actually got to learn some things about y'all visually that I wouldn't have before. And you know what? Omid, I would have never guessed you were aging. Honestly, don't look a day over 20. You and me, we're the same.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, well, I am so excited to be here and lead this, moderation and this speaking. But first, I would really love to kind of talk about what the Global Affiliate Network is and how it kind of plays into It Gets Better in general. So if anyone is a new viewer here, where it gets better, we're a nonprofit based on uplifting and empowering queer youth like myself and everyone else that is queer and a youth, and not, everyone has a story to tell. So our Global Affiliate Network is we are able to have people from all around the world, which is really awesome. We have people from Peru and Canada and just a lot of places that I think is really impressive that we're able to like reach, and I really am glad that we're able to do that. So today, I think that it's really exciting that we have all these different voices and these different like points of view to tell us what it's like to, you know, share the It Gets Better message of uplifting and empowering in all the different parts of the world, because I think that's not something that we get to experience a lot, especially in a live setting like this. So I am super excited to get started. I would really love to know, Omid, what do you think would be a recent political or social shift that's impacted the LGBTQ youth in your country, just to kick us off?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen quite a shift. I mean, truthfully, a year or year and a half ago, we were headed towards a fairly strong conservative government. We had our current government at the time, which was liberal and very pro 2S LGBTQI plus rights. And when I say 2S, I'm referring to Two Spirited. They had their very first, well, not the very first, but one of the only 2S LGBTQI plus action plans that were created in the world to support the queer community. So we were seeing a bit of a unfortunate trend where youth were at risk of losing access to, inclusive education, privacy of selecting their own pronouns, and really mostly the important of the freedom to be themselves. So we were seeing this in several provinces through policies that were being introduced. And we were seeing an increase in conservative mindsets. But I think it really forced us to become prepared for what that future would look like. However, as we all have seen, that's not the case of what happened with our latest elections. I think a lot of like what we've been seeing in the US occurring with your current administration became a bit of a wake-up call. So for us, the major takeaway was we really don't know what to expect. Everything is unpredictable when it comes to the political landscape, but ultimately, when you see such a focused target towards underserved communities, marginalized groups, it really creates hopefully a sense of support on the other end that we're really grateful for currently in Canada to have seen.
That's so cool that like you guys are still being able to win. I'm curious, just like as yourself, like in your day-to-day life, what do you think? How did you celebrate when you kind of got some of those wins? Like, what were you thinking? Like, walk us through
Oh,
it.
yeah, I mean, we're also an organization that relies on federal funding a lot. I mean, we've grown significantly in the past 2 years, and that's because of the support of like just unprecedented support that we've been able to get. So it was a scary time, and truthfully, when we saw that win, it was just a huge sigh of relief. I mean, there's still a lot of work to be done. We still need to continue to build allyship. Uh,
Oh no. Oh, that's sad. I think that Bruno disconnected, or I'm sorry, not Bruno. I think Omid. Oh, hey, welcome back. I was just about to say how sad I was that you were gone, but you're back.
I think,
Keep
yeah, I think,
going.
yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it was a sigh of relief, a huge sigh of relief. But again, we still need to continue to work towards building allyship, across both ends, both conservative and the liberal parties, and really hope that we can fight towards a greater good that ultimately propels youth. I mean, youth are the ones that really need to be felt like they're safe and secure.
Awesome. I think that's really great to kind of have those things and to like make allyships across, across Canada, yes, and the provinces, but also like across
I don't
the
know if I
globe, across the
skipped out
global.
again, maybe.
I think you might have skipped out a little bit, but I was able to hear a lot of what you were saying. Do you think you're up to like what's it called? Do you think are you here?
Yeah, I think we're cutting in and out. So sorry, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I think we can all hear you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yay!
Yeah.
Welcome back. Awesome. Well, I was just saying that I think it's really awesome that, you and your organization are really looking to make like province and like global alliances. Oh my gosh, sorry, alliances. I think that's so awesome, and I'm so excited to hear more about it. Um, Bruno, I was wondering what you could tell us kind of about any recent political or social shifts that have impacted LGBTQ youth in Brazil.
Really. Okay, so it has been some difficult years in the recent last few years because we have gone through a particularly difficult period with the rise of these ultra conservative leaders who push back against our community and specifically looking for teen youth, queer youth. But even in this hostile kind of scene, we kept fighting because the history of our community is a history of fighting for our rights. And even in this, with this background, this ultra conservative background, we we were able to secure some major victories for our community, specifically through Supreme Court. So in 2019, we had the criminalization of homophobia and transphobia, even with a far-right government. And we also have seen some strong corporates working with diversity, equity, and inclusion, with which in Brazil is protected by our legal framework. So um, it's been kind of hard in the last few years, but I like to think that we are the proof that progress can be made even when our democracy and when the social background is not completely in our favor. And here I have to include the incredible power of our queer celebrities and social media and everyone who goes to Twitter, Instagram, not Twitter, Instagram to say about our rights and keep our fight visible. So in Brazil, we have like Pablo Vittar, Anita, Erika Hilton, who are like big, huge names. And yeah, I think that we're not we're not like in a safe zone, but we've been worse. I guess we're getting better.
Hey, it does get better. And I completely understand. Like, it's hard. Like, you're making these great strides, but, it's still not everything that it could be. I'm curious, you mentioned all these, social media influencers, these queer social media influencers. Do you think that you have like a favorite one? And what have they spoken about kind of like with, overcoming queer problems? Like, is there anyone that kind of comes to your mind?
Yeah, yeah, I would have to say Erika Hilton. She's like she was the first trans woman to be in our parliament in a federal level, and she used a lot of social media to keep in touch and to teach our community about our rights, not only visibility, but how we can use the visibility for get a better life, you know. So yeah, I think she does a very, very important job, not only on politics, but on a daily basis. Well,
Oh my gosh, that's huge. That is awesome. I will make a mental note and go check her out later because that is really big. Thank you so much for sharing that one. Yeah, I'm really, what's the word? Curious, what do you think in your area have been some political shifts that have impacted, queer youth?
I would love to say that actually Spain is kind of like a paradox, is how I like to describe, because we are pioneers in LGBTQ right in a global situation, like with the self-determinant laws, and we can see how there are more rights and laws that we gain in the government, in the general government, which are not totally applied in the regions and also are not totally applied in the society, which is a little bit like so not the best feeling when you see how your government is trying to protect you better, try to give you more freedom, while the society is not following that path. And also as like as a personal issue for us in Federal Spain. We are seeing how the most conservative regions are not allowing anymore to have LGBTQ diversity workshops in the schools. They are not allowing us to have any presence in the education institution. As well, at the same time, we are seeing how media narratives are giving more space to discrimination and hateful speeches, polarizing families, misinforming and stigmatizing our community. But I have to say, it's not. Like, I think that I'm saying the worst part of Spain situation, but actually, if I see through the social media, through new public programs, and also like public movements, like led by the national TV, led by the government, I see hope, and I see people working to create a better world for everyone, not only for our community, but for everyone, which is kind of dissonant with the hateful wings. But I'm kind of proud of how we are responding to the hate in our community, in all the in the whole Spanish society. It's more common to see someone who is against discrimination than seeing someone who is supporting discrimination. And we see how youth people respond to all the hate comments, to all the discrimination they can receive with solid arguments, with tolerance, with love, with freedom. They are not afraid, and I'm so inspired by them.
Oh my gosh, that kind of inspired me a little bit. I think it is really hard to kind of be in an area where, the government is, helping you, and then society is not, especially considering you would really think that they would. I'm kind of curious, what, strides has your government made to support queer youth in your area?
In my area in specific, not so much, because I live in a conservative region. But in general, the general government is giving a lot of space to youth, a queer community, to share their opinions. The best example is the last LGBTQA plus law that was approved 2 years ago. This law was created with the voice of many, many people, queer youth, queer elders, as we are, some of us we are. It was taking in mind every single personal perspective and collective perspectives that we can live. And even if this law can be improved, it was a huge step for us. It was a huge step for, I believe, for Europe and part of the world. So I think that the best thing they are doing is precisely not just talking congresses against congresses, but giving a room for the people who are really living those realities, and listen to them, and really making improvements and laws based in our opinion, in our lives.
Oh my gosh, I think that's so awesome. I'm really happy for you guys. That's really cool. Oh my gosh, thank you for sharing. Alex, I wanted to know, what are the kind of things that are happening in your area, all the way across the seas? How are things different where you are? What are your wins? Your not so wins.
This was the personal. Yeah, not overly wins at the moment in terms of kind of the UK. So I mean, we had our High Court probably about a month ago now declared that, well, yeah, anyone whose sex and gender are those that are assigned at birth. So any trans women, trans men don't get the kind of same rights, particularly in kind of single space kind of places. So if you're thinking about toilets, prisons, hospital wards, you have to go to the ward that you were assigned at birth, regardless as to how long you haven't been living as that. So we're seeing like massive changes in terms of kind of what that means, and people kind of feeling empowered. So I guess the bit that we were just talking in Spain in terms of like societal way of being. Like people are feeling empowered to challenge people just based on their kind of external physiology, rightly or wrongly, in terms of different elements. So it doesn't just affect trans kind of women primarily, are the kind of, I guess, targets of this, but you've got kind of lesbians going into kind of female space toilets and being challenged for being in there because they happen to look more butch. So it's just these elements of kind of, it's not just trans people who are like affected, it's that broader element of feeling safe. So you've got loads of trans community at the moment feeling like obviously they have to go into the bathroom they were assigned at birth, but that doesn't reflect them, don't feel safe in it. So it's just this kind of massive discord, and where the UK used to feel quite safe in terms of elements around that, we're kind of slipping back and seeing the legal protections eroded, and then these kind of societal behaviours we were talking about a second ago coming to the fore in terms of people feeling like they've now got that kind of legal protection behind them. So for us, the how we sell the "it gets better" message is I guess we're having to kind of shift quite a lot in terms of how we communicate that message, because yeah, at the moment it's not necessarily always feeling that way. So it's kind of how do we kind of continue to kind of do what we do as a global organization in inspiring and empowering LGBT youth, whilst also being cognizant of the fact that at the moment those protections are being kind of taken away from us, not kind of secured.
Yeah, I think that's a really like nice segue into my next question, actually. What kind of like strategies are y'all using to, empower youth under all these conditions that are going on? Like what are, the how are the ways that you guys are like kind of, keeping spirits high and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's a weird one for us as a charity in terms of the juxtaposition in terms of increased, I guess, awareness of kind of LGBT challenges that we're facing, but also therefore more people wanting to share their "it gets better" story. So it's kind of this, like we're seeing loads more people come on board, and like we've got more. We're going to be launching our Celebrity Champions program recently, and we've got people coming to us wanting to get engaged, which is great. And they're wanting to come to us because of the challenges we're facing. So it's this kind of weird thing where you're kind of seeing people come on board more. But I think the advantage of that is that kind of dynamic of chosen family becomes stronger than ever, because you've got all these people coming around together and saying, look, I recognize you for who you are, that you are loved no matter what. As an individual, we recognize you and we see you. And I think sometimes that needs to be kind of, I guess, where it's become a little bit more, I guess, just expected that people treat you like that more recently. I think it's probably come to the fore that we kind of start to rally around and support each other a bit more. So I think it's trying to kind of lean into that in terms of it does get better, in terms of the kind of, you meet your chosen family, you meet your friends, you kind of find that group of people who accept and acknowledge you and love you and praise you for who you are, which is right, because we're all kind of valued as individuals, we all have worth. So I think that's kind of how we get around that message, is kind of coming together and reminding ourselves. And the fact we've got Pride Month in like 2 or 3 days is like the perfect kind of cure for kind of coming together and seeing and celebrating each other for just existing for who we are.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of fun. I love chosen families. Realizing like chosen families, like the actual term, like coming to light even before people knew what to call it, was such like a heartwarming thing. I want to know, what do you think that you and your chosen family, are y'all gonna do anything exciting for Pride? Anyone it gets better, or like in your own life that we can all look forward to? Oh, Alex, I was a little curious about what you and your chosen family are gonna do for Pride. Hey, it's okay.
Pride Month is great. Like we have like a UK volunteers WhatsApp group, and the team is phenomenal. Like every day there are loads of chats going off about like everything that's happening. So for me, I think that's the bit I love most, is kind of seeing all the volunteers kind of sharing their videos, their stories, like their fiancés, husbands, wives, all coming along in terms of different bits. Like my mum's been to Pride, like she's helped kind of staff the It Gets Better UK stall. So it's just kind of all these dynamics of seeing people and having fun and people celebrating themselves. I think kind of that's wonderful. Like I'm lucky that I've got an amazing husband and family that come along, but I think it's that the love, and just seeing that, like I mean, when I feel old now, but like when I went to my first Pride event, like there was a certain generational gap in terms of people who went to Pride, whereas now you've got like all of these kind of LGBT youth coming along, feeling like they can be themselves at Pride, which I would never have done at that age. So I think kind of that's the joy for me, is seeing how even with the challenges we're facing, youth are feeling empowered to be their authentic selves. I think kind of that's beautiful.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I remember my first Pride. I was very young, much younger than I am now. And it's just like It really is like a magical feeling that even though a lot of people try to bring down like the queer community, I think that us having pride and that being like our unique thing, I am so glad that we have that. And, I'm really glad that we all get to experience that together. And I'm so happy that you're able to bring your family into that as well. I also have a really nice and awesome supportive family. My mom was with me to my first pride. She found the parade, actually, love her. And I think that that's really cool that you also have a really nice mom. I love family. Wow. Anyways, um, Miguel, I want to know, what's kind of going on where you are. What like strategies and programs are y'all able to use to like uplift queer youth, whether that be in Pride and like Pride or like your chosen families. Like, how do you like to, keep positive?
We, I think that all my chosen family, which is mostly represented in Iguetes Federal Spain, because when I came out, I landed somehow in a place where the vice president of Iguetes Federal Spain was studying with me. And when they see, just told me, hey, do you want to be part of this? And then it's how I started to have my first community here in Spain. And now like I have all over the world, which I love to to feel grateful about. Um, but about strategies that we used to follow, and we like to work in, just to be a lot into being the reference we didn't have, into finding the reference also we never had before, because a peculiarity of my of Iguetes Spain is that we are kind of oldest, um, and we just want to work into create the safest space possible for the newest generations, and learn from them too, because we are every day, every single day, learning from the new influencers, from the newest generations that are approaching us, the people that are working with us in the Pride. Um, I love the like June when Pride arrives, because we start doing more. I mean, we are all I guess also all of you are all in every different parts of your countries, working online with your organizations. So June is our month to finally meet up in a year, in the year. So we love to create meetings with other people, with inviting a new community to make bigger hours, and to work with them, and to also bring a hopeful message to the people, you know you don't, if you never have been in a pride, if you are afraid, if you are alone, you just can come with us, and we will be your family from this day till the day you want. And I think that's the most helpful thing we can do for us, for ourselves, for our younger self, and for the new people that arrive into our community.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of fun. Bringing like a lot of people to Pride. I think that's like one of the best things. Do you think that you have like a favorite like Pride event or maybe even like a favorite float you've seen? I've never been to Pride where you are for obvious reasons, but I really want to know like what is your favorite part of like Pride aside from like bringing in people?
Since a couple years ago, we are doing an event before Pride with a Spanish brand that is so queer friendly, and they are always working between their workers and the customers to apply good LGBTQ policies. So we love to work with them, and every year since I believe 2023, we are creating an event before Pride, and we meet up and we make up, and there are makeup artists there, and they made us all beautiful and shiny, and it's such a moment where we connect with ourselves, we connect with people that we never met, and suddenly we are all this same uh, like uh, shining ball of people is how I see it. Like we feel like a disco ball all together. We are just pure fantasy, unicorn. I don't know how to explain it, but it's the best moment because it's more relaxed. We are just chatting with each other, getting to know each other. It's not in the middle of all the crowd in the pride, but in the private room where we get to connect with more people, with new people, with totally strangers that they just want to feel like a unicorn for pride. You are totally invited. It's amazing. It's the best day of our life. We look incredible.
Oh my gosh. So sounds like we're all meeting at your house. It's gonna be great. Who's excited? I'm excited. Wow. Oh my gosh, that's so fun. Bruno, I kind of wanted to know what you had to say. How do you like to celebrate, Pride, and also like in your part of the program, how do you like to empower youth and just empower yourself and kind of your own stories?
Perfect. So I will start talking about our programs, and then I go to Pride because in Brazil it's a whole other level. So when it gets better started here in Brazil, um, something that we really wanted to address is how do we bring this message of it gets better to a country with 200 million people and with very with a lot of inequality between people who are LGBT, but not only this, but for Black people, trans people, queer people who doesn't live in the big cities. So what we have been looking for is to combine emotional support and real opportunities that can uh, face these structural uh, inequalities. Looking for the political scenario in 2022, we have developed the political anxiety management guide for queer youth because you can imagine how insecure our queer youth were during the elections. And it has been assessed thousands of times, and people have been able to get in touch with tools to navigate fear, uncertainty, and through all this political instability with more clarity and care and ways to support each other. But we also have worked with companies to promote access to job market, employability, and career development because we know that um, when we say that it gets better, we also want to create ways to think to get better. We wanted to build paths toward greater rates, safety, and autonomy. Because in Brazil and in a lot of our countries, actually, just being visible can be risky when you're a queer person. And in Brazil specifically, if you are trans person, a black person, or if you do not live in these major cities. Yeah, so yeah, that's what we've been doing. We have been building emotional support, but also working with companies to provide these opportunities to economic inclusion and how can we build the strengths that last. Let's say that. That being said, Pride in Brazil, I don't know if you know, but São Paulo, where I live, it holds the largest Pride parade in the world. It's like it's 100 no 1 million people on the street last year. And this number can be bigger. Yeah, I'm playing like low saying 1 million people because it's very huge. It's very full of color, full of noise. It's a huge party, but at the same time, it's a huge opportunity to people to get in touch with politicians and to the social movement and people who are on the front lines looking for and fighting for our rights. So um, all this Pride season for me, it's with a lot of work because we have to get all these things going on. But at the day of the Pride itself, I just like to be on the streets and to get in touch with some friends and colleagues and just watch. We have here we divide Pride in a lot of small group of people, and the first group that walks in the streets during Pride, it's with kids and teenagers and their families. And I every year I like to get there very early so I can see all the kids walking together and their families being supportive. This is something that I didn't have when I was a kid or in the first years of my teenager. So yeah, it's very emotional. And yeah, I think that's it.
Oh my gosh, I really love that. I think that the pride that I went to was not 1 million people or more. But I think that that is so cool to have like so many people and just to like see having a visual representation of like your entire community is so empowering. And it's just like you're literally there. Like you can literally be like, hey guys, I think that's so beautiful and awesome. I noticed you said kind of like you and your program, y'all were able to provide a lot of like emotional what's oh my gosh, I always forget the word, just like emotional help or guidance. And I want to know what's like the what are some of the ways that y'all are doing it? Is it through like social media, like Instagram posts, or sharing resources? Like tell me a little bit more about that.
All of that, actually, we have in the organization that receives It Gets Better project here in Brazil, we have like psychologists who people can go there and do the psychologist thing. But we also have some projects online. During pandemics, for example, we had um, a monthly meeting where it was open for crew just to join us, and it was held by a therapist who can like hear them and to talk them with them about their feelings. But we also focus on these moments like during the elections, or sometimes uh, people just slide in our DMs like asking for help and asking for help, and we have a team with people and have a team with people who can offer this proper help, which is not me, obviously. Yeah, and they can help them. But we keep looking for specific subjects that can like get people in a more fragile moment. So we're working now, for example, in on climate anxiety guide, because you know that queer youth is also more affected by anxiety when it involves the climate change. So yeah, I think that's some of the things that are doing right now.
Cool. That is incredibly interesting. I myself and anyone watching should totally check out It Gets Better Brazil. That sounds really cool. I'm excited to see that. I mean, I kind of wanted to know, what is life like for you? How do you like, I'm loving this Pride ball that we've got rolling. How do you celebrate Pride? But also like, how do you and your program like uplift and empower people?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, it's just so cool to hear what everybody's doing. Amazing, amazing work across the board. Which is like, yeah, the heart of Pride is just creating and doing things that make you happy. And I think it's always so special to think back about what your first Pride experience was like. Mine was in Toronto. I mean, not as big as Brazil, but definitely quite a solid annual Pride celebration. And yeah, it's a great opportunity for us all to connect and see all the different walks of queer communities get together. And what really is one of my favorite parts of our Pride celebrations is um, doing the content capture that we do, we'll oftentimes put people just like on like staff or supporters of our organization will go on the floor and like on the streets and connect with people, ask them questions, ask them to provide their It Gets Better stories, advice for coming out or allyship, and we just get the most authentic, vulnerable, funny pieces that really help support us throughout the year, and they're always so much fun to watch afterwards. But what we're doing this year, we are hosting our inaugural youth summit. We're bringing in around 30 youth from across the country. They consist of two cohorts of our youth advisory committee, as well as high school students who receive grants from our True Voices funds. So this week, actually, we're all getting together in Toronto for a 3-day event. Where they'll be talking about the barriers that they're facing as we enter Pride season, pardon me, and yeah, it'll be a really enlightening, insightful opportunity for us to just see what's happening because Canada is such a large country. We have varied experiences throughout, so it's really going to give us a much more in-depth understanding of the needs of youth, what they're facing, and how we can better work with the mission that we're providing to uplift their voices. So it's going to be a busy month ahead, but we're really, really excited.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. I was recently just in LA for our youth summit. Oh my goodness, being around like just so many, queer youth for me as a queer youth, youth. I'm 20, who would know? But just being around that many like queer people and like the queer future generations is so wow, I'm super excited for you. Alex, before we go, I really wanted to know, we're talking about Pride and how we like to celebrate Pride. Do you have a favorite kind of like Pride experience that you'd like to share so we can see like Pride around the world?
Yeah, I will do two quickly in terms of time. So yeah, probably personal favorite Pride parade would have been World Pride in New York when we had the global summit face to face. Because we marched as It Gets Better as like the global movements. We all had like all of our own country flags, but it kind of I guess made It Gets Better feel a global movement, and it was World Pride, so it was a vast amount of people, and it was very hot. And then I guess personal UK favorite would be Cambridge Pride. Last year we had someone come up to the stall and just said, "I'm still alive because of you." So that tells the power of It Gets Better in terms of that. So it's a personal, like, always struggle not to cry when I tell that story. So yeah, so for that's kind of a personal favorite because that shows the power of It Gets Better.
Oh my gosh, that is so rewarding. I don't think that there's like any better feeling than, seeing all like the dedication that you're putting in really like pay off and like seeing the people that it impacts. Wow. Well, speaking of the people that we impact, goodbye. It is come to our time that we have to leave. I'm so sad. I know you are too. I know that y'all are too. It's just I'll just play it. But I just want to know, does anyone have any last closing remarks? Anything anybody want to say before we say goodbye? Move on to the next panel. Cool, me neither. I think it would be fun maybe for our last. Oh wait, I should probably say thank you. Okay, thank you everybody for watching. This was such an honor to like moderate and speak to you all and learn about Pride around the world with our global affiliates. That is such like it's a joy. It's the best. I was really interested, and it's just really uplifting to hear about all of y'all's experiences, and I'm really glad that we got to. Thank you, viewers. I love you guys. Make sure to follow all of us on It Gets Better Instagram and stay tuned for the rest of the Twitch stream. I'm 20 years young. I think it would be really cool and slay if we all unmuted and said goodbye like as a group just to really close it off. Who's in? I'm in. Bye.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.